Rain, could you introduce yourself and what you do at ChainSafe?
So I'm developer relations in the gaming team at ChainSafe. I mostly coordinate with the gaming community, the developers using the Web3 Unity SDK, and some of our strategic developers within the team as well.
Beyond the fact that you are an extremely proficient member of the Web3 Unity team, helping to answer community questions, troubleshooting other game developers and their queries about the gaming SDK, you are without a doubt a prolific Unity game developer. You don't just talk the talk, but you also walk the walk. You have built and deployed multiple games on the blockchain, and most notably, you are the creator of the Untitled platformer. Not only does it look high production, I've played it a bit myself, it controls supremely well and hints at a very promising future for Web3 gaming. What is that website called again?
Oh, DappRadar.
It's like number 7 ranking. That's a pretty sick achievement. What's the story behind Untitled?
It's actually a really funny story. Untitled started as a challenge when I joined the ChainSafe community. Essentially, it evolved from what was a playground build, test out all the different SDK functionalities and features into a game. I'm grateful for it. In a way, I do have to thank the SDK and the team behind it for allowing me to get to this point.
You actually originally created the game as your own demo to test out all the different features, and then it ended up
It
becoming
became a game. Yeah, I still have screenshots of when we started working on it. It was really just to test out and actually help other community members with whatever they were working on. So when a community member had a problem, I would use this build to actually replicate their code and explain to them what they would need to do to fix it. It had so much SDK code in it. It was pretty simple to just slot a few pieces of a puzzle together and become an actual game.
You and I, in fact, work in
Mm.
developer relations. I always tell people that you are the prototypical DevRel person, hybrid builder slash content creator. In your words, what is developer relations and why is it becoming increasingly popular as a role in this new engineering heavy Web3 organization?
I believe that DevRel is a strategic function in organizations that focuses on building and nurturing relationships between the company and the developer community. It's how DevRel bridges the gap between technical teams and non-technical stakeholders, understanding and serving developers, being able to take someone that knows nothing about a product and kind of connecting them to the product itself.
In the ChainSafe gaming community, you began in a very important role, what we call our chain sages. Essentially, sages, community ambassadors that know the tooling inside out, they act as a key contact for the external dev community. I'm very curious how you came to learn of Web3 Unity and how you even got involved in being a sage in the first place.
I first came across ChainSafe when I was trying to learn more about blockchain gaming, how we could integrate something like Wallet Connect to a game. This is back in 2021, when even integrating something niche like a Wallet Connect to a Unity game was insane. Ended up leading me to ChainSafe. If it wasn't for the guidance from Sneaks and Kwame at the time, I would have probably moved on to a different product. But they genuinely nurtured me as a developer and as a community member, single-handedly mentored me and taught me the whole of the SDK in 4 to 6 months. At the end of that year, I got assigned a chain sage role. It felt like as a developer, you could work towards something. I put in the effort and time, and by helping the community, I was rewarded with this privilege and recognition of sort. It's actually a really cool little process coming in from nowhere to become a community member and then to be hopped on as a sage. Just kind of shows the qualities of ChainSafe and what they do for their gaming community.
And then now you're developer relations in ChainSafe. What a progression. What does it take to be a sage?
Anyone can learn a product and excel at it, but to be a sage requires the utmost of compassion, understanding, plenty of patience. You need to be able to approach problems with the developer in mind. You have to remember that at some point you were in the exact same position as that developer that's currently asking for guidance. Knowing the product's only 30% of the process, the other 70% comes from genuinely wanting to help people and help the community grow. It's a rare trait and a rare quality. So, I do hope that we see more folks join the community and help out in future. If I'm a developer, I'm someone asking for help, I would much rather prefer someone that has great communication skills, great people skills, and are willing to help me in my current problem and run me through it from start to end.
I feel like the gaming software development space is rapidly expanding. We've seen MetaMask come out with an SDK, Morales,
Yeah.
all these different projects springing up with gaming SDK, trying to win developer market share. What makes Web3 Unity the preferred choice of SDK for building games? It's clear you've now built multiple games in production, deployed on various mainnets and testnets. Something that always holds consistent across all of your games that you've developed is the Web3 Unity SDK underpinning it all.
I think it's preferred because you can go from an idea to proof of concept in half an hour, maybe even less if you're really proficient. It provides you with all the required tooling to build a blockchain game with absolutely next to no information. It's actually really elegant as well. The docs are good, the abstraction is great, and as a blockchain game developer, I can obviously recommend it. It allows me to go from, hey, I've got an idea to, hey, here's a demo. You can get basic functionality, wallet connect, or even contract interaction within 10, 15 minutes. And the more you use it, of course, the more efficient you become at it. It all just works. That and of course, the very supportive community that we have in Discord. I mean, me and Sneaks are always trying to answer as many questions as we can. Being able to get that support almost immediately with a very small turnaround time, I think it's great for developers.
And it's not just you and Sneaks. I've seen other community members step up and answer questions as well.
Yeah, for sure. No, we definitely have quite a few community members that are working their way up to the Sage role. It's always cool to see when you've been working on some of these developers, kind of mentoring them a little bit and seeing them step in and answer some of the harder questions, especially that other new members might be asking. I guess that's kind of what would be our goal as community leads, is to have everyone kind of chip in and help each other to help everyone grow within the community.
What's the latest with Web3 Unity? What features are you excited to see game devs build out? What sort of new things and features have even come out in the past quarter?
We are busy building a new version of SDK, a more refined version that will hold quite a few new features. Probably my favorite being gasless, kind of the main reason behind the current build of Untitled. I believe no one should be paying for gas, not the player, not the developer. Features like this and stuff like Web3 auth, it makes me pretty excited because it gets us closer to that vision of creating this traditional gaming experience more so than a full-on blockchain experience. With networks like Scale coming into play, you're able to create games that require absolutely zero input from the player. I think the biggest reason Untitled is as successful as it is because we've abstracted away from the blockchain, all the things that come with it, like wallet connect, pop-up, signatures and stuff. And so being able to see these features come into the SDK, making it easier for developers to make use of, I can't wait to see how other developers will take advantage of this.
I can't imagine playing Call of Duty and purchasing a gun and all of a sudden having to sign a transaction on MetaMask. Like, authorize this purchase.
Can you imagine play a ranked game, and in order to update your rank points or whatever, you have to sign a message after each game? That's so disruptive.
There's a lot of people that's talking about Web 2.5 gaming. Is that
right.
what we're getting at here?
I definitely believe it's going to be more of a hybrid. People just want to play a fun, casual game. And if you as a developer want to benefit from that by using the blockchain, you should do your very, very best to abstract away from all these common mistakes. As soon as you mention stuff like NFTs and Web3 and all that, depending on your crowd, you might attract either the wrong people or people might be deferred from playing your game. I think we just need to kind of take a step back and go, hey, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. We're just going to add an extension to what is already an existing service. If you think about stuff like Xbox Live, Game Pass, they didn't reinvent the wheel. They just added on to existing developer experiences. Essentially, I believe blockchain should just be an additional add-on to what is really an existing industry.
So what is blockchain adding on to the existing industry?
Well, I mean, the most obvious one is ownership. Being able to own absolutely anything and everything that you buy in a game. That's probably one of the biggest benefits. You're not tied in. I'm thinking Steam here. If I buy a Counter-Strike skin and I sell it for like $1,000, great, that's awesome. Except all I can do with $1,000 is buy games on Steam. So it's a lot of game money, man. But if I had to buy assets, or I had to be working, playing a game, and I get this like super ultra rare, whatever asset, and it's worth a lot, having the option to be able to actually sell that on a marketplace somewhere that could convert to real world money, that's pretty cool. I like that, and I think a lot of gamers really appreciate that. But apart from that, it's the interoperability, being able to use assets between games. I think that's really cool as well. I already have this appreciation for games that reference other games within their games. Having these assets be there, I think the blockchain allows you to take that a step further without much technical debt. Use other characters and other game objects from different franchises cross-chain, which is really sick. There's definitely a lot more to explore, but for now, at least, that's probably the two biggest points that comes to mind.
What's next in store for on-chain gaming?
So I definitely think we'll be moving away from your traditional custodial wallets into more user-generated or socially generated wallets instead, making it a little bit more approachable for players wanting to play your game, which also reduces onboarding, just as a side note.
I want you to go ahead and plug anything about ChainSafe Gaming or about yourself. I know you and Sneaks recently built a new demo, so maybe you can talk a little bit about that. This is your time.
We've been working on a new refined version of an SDK demo. We'll make use of most of the functionality, if not all, of the new version of the SDK. gameplay. Along with this, engineers will be able to reverse engineer it and actually strip away little bits of functionality that they would like to use in their own game. I guess something that's really cool about this demo is that it's fully multiplayer. It's been net coded. You can actually just hop on and play it, get a feel for it, and then absolutely destroy it, trying to figure out what does what. Go ahead, it's a playground. If you guys want to reach out, I'm always on Discord, nftpixels everywhere. It's unfortunately sad how that's the name I chose 4 years ago and it's still around today. I kind of regret everything, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, so on Discord, I'm nftpixels. Twitter and Telegram, nftpixels1. You're always welcome to reach out to me. Don't forget to give Untitled Platformer a go, which can be found at untitledplatformer.io. If you've got any questions, hop into the ChainSafe Discord. We're always very happy to chat.